Also, songs about the strimmer.
That's all right.
Hello, and welcome to the Berkshire Football Stories Chat podcast with me, Rob Davis, Tom Canning,
How do?
and Abby Ticehurst.
Hello, hello.
Hello, we'll be discussing all the goings on in local football over the weekend and looking ahead to next weekend's fixtures. But first, guys, how are we doing?
Very well.
How has your weeks been?
I went to a football match.
You actually went to a football match?
I know. Who'd have thought, eh? Who'd have thought?
Yeah. When was the last time you went to a football match before last night's game?
It was Reading City at home to Windsor last season. But I can't remember exactly when. That was towards the end of the season.
What, you're talking April week?
Yeah, it would have been. This was certainly my first midweek football match for 2 years.
Oh, very good.
Very nice.
Let's see you getting down to a few matches, a few more. You hoping to get to a few more this season, or is that
definitely? No, that's it. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
The only one.
Hit your quota. Yeah.
Yes. No. I'm hopefully they'll be around in about a few more games. So.
Very nice. Look forward to seeing Tom down a few of the locals' grounds to us. Abby, how about you? You've actually had your first competitive match as a member of the Ascot United team.
Yes, indeed.
How did that go on Friday night?
Yeah,
You're actually on official duty as opposed to pre-season duty.
Yeah, no, really good. We won, so that's exciting. Through to the next round of the FA Cup. Nice little derby with Hollyport coming up as well. Yeah, I felt a lot of pressure actually, because obviously normally when I turn up to games, I'm obviously there to watch them and tweet them for us and things like that. I go to the bar, get myself a pint, maybe have a chin wag with somebody, and then just, maybe I'll tweet at some point. But I actually I have to do it for real now. So there was some pressure, but no, I think it went really well. And actually, yeah, it was a decent game. I think it was. We played Cribs FC, who are from the Causeway in Bristol. There's some interesting characters, shall we say? No, the post-match entertainment was brilliant as well. So, their bus broke down. So we did the formal goodbyes and everything, like good luck for the rest of the season and all that sort of stuff. And then about 20 minutes later, their manager appeared in the doorway again, and he was like, the bus has broken down. About 10 seconds later, an onslaught of the rest of the players and a few of the spectators appeared again. But this time they had a speaker and a microphone and a disco ball with them. So we just got some random post-match entertainment there. Yeah.
During all of that was happening, Abby, when do you think the manager composed his post-match tweet of "I don't like the FA Cup anyway"?
I think that was a day after reflection tweet. But no, I really did enjoy seeing that. Didn't like the FA Cup anyway.
Made me laugh a lot.
Yeah, me too.
Was that tongue in cheek, do you think, or was that genuine?
No, I think that was a genuine tweet.
I think he's got form. I think he did something similar last season. I think he's got form for this. Assuming it's the same manager, I don't know. Haven't bothered to look.
I think so. I don't know. I'm not sure. But yes, no, that was my introduction to actual competitive football and working in that environment. So yeah, it was a good one.
We should mention that Ascot won 2-1 in that game, 2-0 up. Cribs had a man sent off, and then a penalty. 15 minutes from time, is it, Abby? About that?
Yeah, sounds about right.
That brought Cribs closer to Ascot, but Ascot managed to close the game out and through to the next round, as you mentioned, to face Hollyport. And Hollyport in their game away at Risborough Rangers won 1-0, and that was their first ever win in the FA Cup in their 9th attempt. So they've never got past the extra preliminary round before, and so they will be playing Ascot in a replay of what was an extra preliminary round fixture from last season. So, huge congratulations to Hollyport. You want to mention anything on that, Tom?
No, I just I wouldn't put it past Sam Locke to run another shock, as it were, and it would be, because we talked Ascot up last week. If Hollyport, and I don't suppose Sam would disagree with me on this, but it would be a bit of a shock if Hollyport got through. But good luck to him.
Absolutely, yeah. We'll have
obviously Abby can't can't agree with me on that. So.
Yeah, we'll let you stay quiet on this one, Abby. But yeah, I think the result they had there was also perhaps slightly a bit of a shock. Risborough Rangers very competitive at the top end of Step 5 last season in the Spartan South Midlands League, just missing out on promotion in the end. Yeah, so for Hollyport to go there and get a 1-0 victory was a really good result, and hopefully points to perhaps a decent season, or certainly maybe them going slightly higher up the table than they were last season, obviously battling relegation all of last year. So maybe with a bit of luck, they'll be a bit further up the table this season. Good for them. But another team we should mention as well, who got their first ever win in the FA Cup, was Virginia Water. They this was their 4th attempt, I believe. All these stats coming from the fantastic FA Cup fact file and Phil Arnett, whose episode on the pod you can go back and listen to at any time. We have a previous interview with him. So, yeah, thanks to him for all the stats, but also congratulations to Virginia Water, who won 1-0 at home against Hilltop, who are also in the Combined Counties Premier Division North. Yeah, I was trying to remember which suffix it was. Yeah.
I really have to think about what that's called, because there's also like Division 1 North in the Southern region now as well.
Yeah.
So like people keep correcting me on that. So
absolutely, yeah. No, cracking result for both those sides, Virginia Water and Hollyport. Yeah, but also one or two other results for the weekend. Tom, do you want to pick out maybe your tie of the round, if it's not one of the ones we've already mentioned?
Well, last week, we boldly said Reading City's result against Highworth Town would tell us a lot about how they are going to do this coming season. They only went and won it, didn't they? Utterly brilliant. That's a really good result. So Highworth are step 4, Reading are step 5. I cannot for the life of me remember which division Highworth are in, but yeah, it was. They won that one. They won it precisely 2-0 with goals. I would love to tell you who the goals are from, but it's not on full time. So I can't tell. I have written it down somewhere. I have written it, but not to hand. But yeah, that would suggest to me that Reading City could be a bit of a force this season. The amount of people, and especially at the game I went to last night, the amount of people that said they were so surprised by how good, or how tough the Combined Counties League was last season. I think teams this summer will have had a bit of a rejig and a rethink, and I boldly suggest now that a couple of these sides will do much better. And I think looking at how Reading City did there, maybe they caught Highworth on a bad day, and maybe they were very good. I don't know. I wasn't there, but let's see where Reading City end up. But I think that bodes well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Simon Johnson is well worth a follow on Twitter as well for his sort of nondescript tweets about FA Cup wins and stuff like this. Well worth a little look. But well done Simon and his team. They pulled it together.
Absolutely. I was enjoying his tweets about pre-season a few weeks ago, and the language around pre-season, shall we say, what the generic responses from the various football managers mean. So always worth a follow. So, and yes, as we've mentioned, a great result for Reading there. Also, we'll give the full rundown of the FA Cup results. As we mentioned, Ascot beating Cribs 2-1, Ardley United 3, Workingham and Embrook 2. Slightly disappointing that one for Workingham and Embrook. I believe they gave away a couple of late goals to sort of have defeats snatched from the jaws of victory kind of thing. Slightly, don't know if you know any more on that one, Tom. You looked like you were about to come in.
No, I was agreeing with you. They were in front and then they lost.
Absolutely, yeah. Highworth Town 0, Reading City 2, Risborough Rangers 0, Hollyport 1, Tadley Caliva 2, Wincanton Town 6.
New boy Dan Walkley was unhappy with that one, wasn't he? Poor lad. Although we were only getting messages from him, you could see you could imagine his head just slowly sinking deeper and deeper into his hands as he clasped his face and went, "Oh God."
Another team will be disappointed to be out with Thatcham Town losing 3-2 at home to Horndean. Horndean step 5 as well. So, slightly disappointing for Thatcham there. You were going to cut in there, Tom?
No, I was just going to say, I saw Horndean a few years ago. Obviously, it makes no difference. That adds nothing to what they're like now, but they were quite good back then. But that's not a good result.
No. Royal Wotton Bassett won, Windsor won, but unfortunately last night we had the replay. We're recording on Wednesday, and on Tuesday night, Windsor were at home to Royal Wotton Bassett in the replay of that game, and it finished 2-0 to the visitors. So Royal Wotton Bassett Town go through, and then as we mentioned, Virginia Water won, Hilltop 0. And how that all plays out in the next round is that Hollyport, as we mentioned, are at home to Ascot. Royal Wotton Bassett Town, who beat Windsor, host Reading City. Virginia Water are at home to Eastbourne Town. And coming into the competition at this round, Binfield are away at Kidlington. So that's all the Berkshire sides in the preliminary round draw of the FA Cup. Games to be played on the weekend of Saturday, the 20th of August. Any of those ties you look of? I think Hollyport, Ascot, the Berkshire Derby has got to be the one that we're most excited about here as a group, is it?
Probably tie of the round, yes, I should think so. The other one, we almost had Windsor at home to Reading City, didn't we? But not quite. And there was another interesting one that almost happened. It was Shaftesbury versus Camberley Town could have been at home to Thatcham Town, which obviously that didn't happen either. But that would have been quite a nice one too.
Absolutely, yeah. So, lots to look forward to in the coming weeks in terms of FA Cup football. Any insight from Ascot Abbey as to how they're feeling? And, do you fancy a bit of a cup run this year? Or are they solely focused on the league? I think I asked you a similar question last week, and you kind of said, cup's good, but league's the main thing. Is that still the focus?
Yeah, I think they're a cup run. I think they just wanted to not get it out of the way, but just sort of get the season going with the FA Cup. And the fact that we won the game means that, I think a little cup run would be very nice for the season. So, I mean, we're in about 1 million cups as I keep looking at the fixtures and adding them to various things. And there's cup after cup. So, a little cup run somewhere would be nice. And obviously, the FA Cup is always a good one for it to. For the run to be in the FA Cup. So, I think watch this space, I guess.
Absolutely. Well, the FA Cup was not the only fixtures we had on Saturday. There were plenty of other teams that were getting their league campaigns underway. The National League sides in Berkshire didn't have the best start to the season. All three of them lost. Maidenhead away at Notts County, which is a tricky start. Notts County, obviously, one of the favourites for not just promotion but the title in that division. So that was always going to be a tough game. And losing 3-0 away, Maidenhead won't be happy all the same. Slough Town lost away 3-1 to Havant and Waterlooville, and Hungerford Town lost 1-0 at home to Concord Rangers. Although I have heard people say that was a bit of a smash and grab from Concord Rangers. Having not seen much on it, I can't confirm for sure, but not the best start for our National League sides, Tom.
No. I'm not sure what else you want me to say. No, not great.
Yeah. Absolutely. Hope we get through.
I think Maidenhead have got a couple of slightly better fixtures coming up, haven't they?
I think they've got Scunthorpe at home next, so
maybe not,
relegated.
Maybe not. We'll see.
I don't know. I didn't catch Scunthorpe's results this weekend, but
they won.
They won, did they? Okay, they weren't in the best shape when they went down, basically. So you never know with teams coming down from the Football League. They could be looking to go straight back up, or they could be in a bit of a mess and hoping to consolidate. But if they won, then maybe they're in the former group. Yes, another team getting their league campaign underway. Bracknell Town hosted Western-super-Mare. Went 2-0 up, but against a very good side. One, again, that are being tipped for at least a playoff bid rather than a title bid, Western-super-Mare. But went 2-0 up, but unfortunately were pegged back to 2-2 to get a point on the board. Bracknell Town probably be slightly disappointed with that one, Tom?
I think the
good opposition, though.
the overwhelming feeling, I think, in our WhatsApp group was, where did 7 minutes come from?
Yeah.
Ben Griffith scored in the 97th minute. As you mentioned, smash and grab. It sounds like it was a bit of a smash and grab as well. So they'll be disappointed with that. But to be honest, obviously going into a new division, Western-super-Mare, not very recently a National League South side. Tidy ground down there. So one of the ones in this division I have been to. In fact, I've been to a few of them in this division. But yeah, I don't think that's a particularly disappointing result. Disappointing in the sense they were 2-0 up.
Yes.
But what ratio-wise, does that Bracknell's goals conceded 12 in the league last season. They've already conceded 2 this season.
Wow.
What is going on? Inquest, please. That's a sixth of the goals they conceded last season. Is that right? Something like
Yes, it is. Yes.
Yes.
That's don't ask me.
So full on inquest there, please. But
Absolutely.
no, that's not a bad result, is it? Let's face it.
No, I mean, Bracknell will be looking to push for the promotion places again. They're a very ambitious club, as we all know. So
Yeah.
I think they'll be looking to get on up the table this season. But I think they started out with a team who are also in that bracket and looking to bid for promotion. And so I think it's not a bad result, although I think they're not going to have things all their own way in division like they did perhaps a little bit last season.
I would also say it's good that Seb Bowerman's got off the mark goal wise. So obviously Bracknell's talisman, and where an awful lot of their goals, now as well. Yes, and where an awful lot of their goals come from. So if he went a few games without scoring, that could be a problem down the line. As you say, they may not have it all their own way this season, but if Seb is scoring goals, that is a bonus. You sometimes, because obviously not very, very recently he was playing Hellenic League Premier Division football. So, sometimes you think, how far can these lads go? The answer clearly at the moment is step 3, and he's scored. So onwards and upwards, really. See who can stop the Seb freight train.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's certainly one to keep an eye on as the season goes on.
Is an express train better? Freight train sounds like makes him sound big.
Bowerman Express?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
I think this is a question for math school, isn't it?
Yeah. Calling at all stations to the National League. Who can stop the Bowerman Express? There's our podcast title right there.
Absolutely. Just to round out the results for the weekend, the Combined Counties League Division 1 kicked off as well. We had 6 Berkshire sides in action, and 5 of them won. And some of them won pretty handily as well. Berks County 4, Molesey 0, British Airways 0, Aldermaston 2. Hillingdon Borough 2, Sandhurst Town 7. It's quite an emphatic result there. Langley 4, CB Hounslow 3. Looks like there was an exciting game at Arbour Park on Saturday there. London Samurai Rovers 6, Eversley in California 2. That was the one result that didn't go the way of our Berkshire clubs. And Woodley United got their season off underway with a 2-1 win at home to Spartans Youth. So, some good encouragement there for our. Admittedly, it's the first game of the season, but some good signs for the Combined Counties Div 1 sides. Abby,
are we going to reinstate the Berks County must score 1 to 10 at some point?
I think so. Yes, I think so. Can they do it this year? Can they finally do it?
What number did they miss out on last season? Was it 6?
Was it 7? Was it 6 or 7?
I think it was 6.
Yeah. So Berks County scored every number of goals between 1 and 10 last season.
They've chalked off 4. Okay,
and
that's good. That's a good start.
Tonight as well,
Wednesday.
at Aldermaston. So 2 of the sides who were victorious at the weekend going head to head on Wednesday evening.
I really hope you've got your segue here to the next thing, because there's a great segue. You're just going to go into something there. Go on, Rob.
Put the pressure on. All I was going to say is, before we wrap up the results of what happened, Tom, you actually went to a game last night. We're talking about the midweek fixtures. So why don't you tell us about your experience there on...
talking of teams that played at the weekend, I was going to say, talking of teams that both won at the weekend, and then I remembered in my head that Eversley didn't win at the weekend and was
Exactly.
soundly thumped.
Yeah.
And if I'm honest, I went to Eversley in California v Woodley United last night, which was a challenge, shall we say. I will come to that in a moment. Eversley were roundly trounced 6-2 by London Samurai Rovers on Saturday. And if I'm honest, in the opening exchange of the game, I thought they were going to get trounced again by Woodley on Tuesday night. As it happens, Woodley scored first. Really, really good goal. The lad known as, oh, goodness me, I've written this down. Kieran Carolyn. He was played through one-on-one with the goalkeeper, slid it just to the left of the goalkeeper, to roundly cheered by the away supporters. It was a big crowd as well. The car park you could barely move in. It was really good to see. I'm not sure what the total attendance was last night. I'll see. They don't appear to be attendance written down anywhere just yet, but it was a really good attendance. Lots of people there. But yeah, Eversley kind of at that point hadn't really sort of started, and you did kind of think they might get overrun. But then Joe Pantoni down the left, and I thought he was going to cross it and it was going to go nowhere, and he just sort of deftly played it across the box from the left. Ross McKernan did a bit of an Alessia Russo turn just in front of goal. I don't think it was quite as smooth, but I think the reference is absolute. I can stand the reference up. That's fine. Turned, shot it past the goalkeeper, and it was 1-0. And from that point on, it was just really very much game in the centre of the park. A couple of tasty challenges in the second half, and Woodley brought on a lad up front called Abdul Afalabi. Big lad, number 14, really tall lad, but really, really quick as well. They just couldn't kind of get the right balls to him, which was a bit of a shame. So I couldn't really tell you much about his shooting ability. But yeah, towards the end, Ben Anderson, ex-Woodley, popped up, and the word was slammed into the back of the net from close range. I was too far away to confirm or deny whether it was slammed, but it seems like quite a good descriptive phrase for the winner. So that was the winner, and kind of yeah, I don't know. I'd have probably said, if you'd have asked me, 1-1 was probably about right. But yeah, Eversley got back to winning ways. Woodley had won on Saturday, so 3 points each, 2 games in. That's not bad. And there were quite a few good people there as well last night. Managed to give out some of the awards that had been wrongly labelled and wrongly seasoned. So I managed to dish out 3 of those last night as well, which was good. So
good to hear. I think. Yeah, well, we sort of spoke about Eversley in California and how well they did last season in last week's pod. Quite surprised to see the results on the weekend. Good to see them getting back to winning ways. Shame it's at the expense of Woodley. But I think, Woodley seemed to be progressing quite nicely. They started slowly last season and ended up mid-table-ish. Seemed to be getting their act together a little bit. And this season, a good strong wing to start, and then again, a good performance at least, even if they didn't get any points against a side who were right up there at the end of last season. So, Woodley looked like they might be getting things in order as well.
Yeah, it's really good. They've got some. It's a very different squad from what I can see. They did also look like they had McCoy Park. No, I'm thinking of the wrong guy. They looked a very different side. They looked competitive. I didn't see them enough. In fact, I don't think I saw them at all last season. I know they had some good spells last season, but they look the business this year.
Good. Well, good to see. Before we push on to the fixtures for this weekend and the football that's coming up, Abby, give us an overview of what's happening over at Reading Women. There's some pros and some cons, shall we say, to how you think the pre-season's going, or certainly there has been on the WhatsApp group.
I'm just really trying not to be so negative right now. No, we've made some signings. I'm not enthralled by the signings, I'll be honest. We've got Charlie Wellings from Celtic. I'm pretty sure she used to play for Bristol, and I wasn't especially impressed with her when she was in the WSL. And then we've signed some Northern Ireland internationals. So Lauren Wade from Glentoran, which is the like Irish Women's National League, and then Jacqueline Byrne, the goalkeeper, who's come from no club. So, I mean, I guess they're probably going to be to bolster our squad, I suppose, seeing as we've kept lots of last season's squads. I suppose that's a positive. But equally, when I look at the teams who are in and around us and who we generally tend to compete with in the WSL, they seem to be smashing their signings out the park. And so that just makes me a little bit worried.
I want to call you out, Abby.
Okay.
I'm going to call you out
for
on
a change.
This. So last summer,
Yeah.
you were bemoaning the change, the number of players leaving and the number of players coming in. And if I remember rightly, and if I went back and listened, I'm sure somewhere in there you would say, I'd just like it if we could keep the same squad going into the season.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely certain you said this. So obviously Kelly Chambers is clearly a keen listener to this podcast, and one of the many hundreds who download it every week, and has taken your advice on board. And now you are changing tack faster than a Conservative government. And
Can you not compare me to a Tory?
Anyway. So they've kept the same squad. Is your sort of slight uncertainty due to the fact that perhaps they didn't finish the season particularly strongly?
Yes, and I think also losing Brooke Chaplin is a big blow for us as well.
Yeah. Is Emma Harries not like a new signing? When is she back? Do we know?
I mean, no, I don't know. It's the short answer. Her recovery seems to be going well, though. I've spoken to her a couple of times as well, and she seems to be doing well. I don't know if we'll see her at the beginning of the season. I'm not really sure, to be honest. So I suppose you could maybe, like, if we see her sort of, I don't know, October, November time, we could see her as a new signing. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess we'll have to wait and see.
The first two games of the Liverpool is a winnable game. Brighton's a winnable game. Arsenal, you have to say, get what you can. Good performance out of those first three games. So, Yeah, but
Tom, your track record of score, like us, our score predictions is horrendous.
It's not great, is it?
I just think as well. I mean, we lost to Bristol at the weekend as well in a pre-season friendly, and that's not great.
Pre-season doesn't matter. Listen to Simon Johnson.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, I guess. But also, I did notice that we played a lot of the academy kids. So I don't know if they were just giving them a bit of a run out or what else. I don't really know what the situation there is. But yeah, there was a lot of academy kids in the starting 11 and on the bench. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I don't think you should count Liverpool out either, because they've also made some brilliant signings. And after the sort of slight shambles that the last couple of seasons of being stuck in the Championship has been for them, they'll be like all guns blazing, I think.
Yeah,
so,
I'm sure they will. But most teams that come up from the Championship struggle.
Yeah.
Just because they're Liverpool doesn't mean anything.
They went straight back down last time they came up, didn't they?
Well, precisely. Most teams do.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Jono injects some positivity into the chat here.
I thought I had.
One of the positive news is the number of season tickets that Reading Women is selling. Why don't you talk to us about that, Abby?
Yeah, so normally they open the three stands in the east stand. So I think it's like Y20 to 22 or something. But they've actually had to open more stands because they've sold so many season tickets. So obviously I'm assuming it's probably come off the back of the Euros success, and everybody's keen to be going and watching their I'm not going to use the word local, but their WSL side. So
the nearest WSL side.
Yeah, their nearest WSL side. Yeah. So that's really fantastic news that they've managed to do that. So hopefully we'll see the stand looking a little bit more full, because it was getting a little bit sparse in a few games last season.
It was a little, wasn't it?
Yeah, so it's really great to see that there's lots of people who are keen to go and watch some more women's football. So yeah, that's a real positive. So I think the fact that actually they've obviously filled the stands or the quota of those 3 stands that they normally open it, and then had to open more is actually really, really positive. So yes, that's really important. Definitely,
That's very good.
I mean, even if you're not going there to watch Reading, every other week you'll have Lionesses playing at Reading. So, and how good's that? That's that's absolutely terrific. And I don't think the thing that I've always enjoyed about going to the Reading women's games is that everybody just sits together, and maybe someone will say that's a bit too rugby, but it's really nice. There's no sort of danger. It's just quite a pleasant afternoon in nice surroundings, albeit in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, well, hopefully there'll be a few more people enjoying these pleasant afternoons. And we've also seen the Conti Cup draw this week, Abby. So Reading, where was it? Drawn in a group with Southampton, Tottenham Hotspur, and Coventry United. Slightly tough group, and a little bit of rivalry for you as well, Abby.
Yeah, that's the Abbey versus Lish derby somewhere in there, isn't it? Seeing as Lish is down at Southampton. So yes, that should be a good one. I don't really want to make any predictions, but if we don't make it runners up in that group, it will be
Yes, I would. This is what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Coventry are making some really good signings as well themselves, actually, and they've recently appointed a new manager. So, and they've obviously had a few kind of off the pitch dramas where they essentially almost were non-existent until they were bought last minute. And then they've got new owners as well. And obviously Southampton are new to the Championship as well, having won the National League South division and then beating Wolves to get the place in the Championship. So yeah, could be tricky, but equally I don't think like Spurs are ambitious and they have been really building for the last couple of seasons. So I think they'll be looking for not even just a Conti Cup like win, but a Champions League spot. So I think they will be our biggest challenge, and hopefully not a breeze at all, but Southampton and Coventry should be easy
Winnable.
games
Winnable.
for us.
Should we say winnable?
Word. Not easy because Reading don't like to take the easy route, but yeah. So yes, as I say, Conti Cup fixtures there. I'm not sure when the first fixture is. Sometime, I don't know.
They're at the start of October. They haven't listed the dates aren't out yet.
Oh yeah, that makes sense because that kind of coincides with FA Cup games as well. Then
absolutely. Okay. Well, on that sort of semi-positive note, should we say, leave the Reading women and look ahead to the football that's coming up this weekend. We've already mentioned there's a game tonight between Aldermaston and Berks County that a few of us are going to, so hopefully see a good game there. But looking ahead to the fixtures this weekend, Tom, why don't you pick out a fixture for us that you're most excited by?
I think that Bracknell heading up to Merthyr Town,
absolutely,
and that is a wild away day. I suspect, is it North Wales? Mid Wales?
Mid Wales, yeah. So it's still south, but it's quite mid in Wales. So it's in the Brecon Beacons, lovely part of the world. That's going to be a test because I think Merthyr will be another one of those teams that are up there, without a doubt whatsoever. We should probably also just point out the Isthmian League South Central Division is kicking off this weekend as well. You've got Binfield at Ashford Town and Thatcham at home to Guernsey in a change to the scheduled programming. So yeah, that's obviously that's exciting. But yeah, I think Bracknell at Merthyr. Now I'm not sure how many people will be making that trip. How many Bracknell fans will be? Probably more than I would imagine. Worth saying as well, our friends over at the Unofficial Robins podcast have launched a second podcast, which is an Away Days podcast. So you can go and find that on Spotify. I think just type in Unofficial Robins and you'll find their podcast. Go and have a listen to that. Well worth a little bit of your time. Have I filled enough time to find the Combined Counties League fixtures? Yes, I have. Well, Combined County, you talk about the Isthmian South Central Division
Yes.
starting. It's actually the first full weekend of fixtures for the Combined Counties Premier Division as well.
It is
we've
as
had,
well.
We've had the one fixture between Wokingham and Embrook and Wallingford.
Joint top. We are top of the league for an entire week.
But yeah, the first actual league games, or first full round of fixtures, we should say, are kicking off this weekend. So you filled enough time. Which ones are those? I think there's one fairly obvious one that we would be drawn to here.
Let's play bingo and assume you are referring to Windsor v Ascot United. Sorry, I did know. I had already looked at these, believe it or not. I was just I was trying to make a joke about how maybe it was like Egham v Flackwell Heath, but no.
No. Windsor versus Escort United in a local derby to kick the season off. Abby, go on. We'll come back to you as our Ascot correspondent. Again, we've spoken about how Ascot are looking forward to a strong league campaign this season, or are gearing up for a strong league campaign this season. How do you feel about Windsor as a starting game? What's the feel around the club?
I think everyone's just very excited. It's a very tasty tie to begin the season with, really, isn't it? So I feel like it's a little bit of history between the two and all of that sort of stuff. So yeah, it's just I think it should be a very exciting tie, really. Don't want to give too much away.
Playing cards close to your chest. So we've highlighted that one. Tom, Mick Woodham's first game in charge, or first league game in charge. He's played the 2 cup games. There'll be some excitement from the Windsor side as well, I'd imagine.
Yeah, speaking to a few of their supporters, they are really excited. They're really excited to have Mick back. I'm really excited to see how it goes. Who knows? I don't know. I still haven't spoken to Mick. I did message him the other day, and I have got to try and speak to him between now and Friday, and I will try to do that. But yeah, I'm really excited to see. I don't know the fans will be. Can also just flag there's a Windsor and Eton FC history book by Michael Geggs that is out that is well worth a purchase if you want to head on to Amazon. Just Windsor and Eton FC, I suspect, the big old history of Windsor and Eton Football Club, and I will get the man himself on this podcast at some point.
Absolutely, it'd be great to quiz him about obviously he's got such a connection to the club. We have spoken to him in the past, so if anyone wants to go and listen to the previous episode with him, they can go and do that in our back catalogue.
If I remember, Rob, when we did that interview with Mick, we never saw his face.
Yes.
He was talking to us. I think he might have been working whilst also talking to us, but we never saw his face. It was very funny.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully, he's got to grips with the technology a bit better. As I said, we've all been in lockdown, so we've all become technological wizards. So hopefully that will be improved. But yes, a few interesting ties to come up. Any apart from the Ascot game, if you weren't going to Ascot, Abby, where would you be heading this weekend?
I think I'd probably go to Berks County because they're playing British Airways, I think.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, and I think that'd just be like not a rematch, obviously, because it was a cup game, but after that exciting cup game they had with them last season, I think that will just be an interesting tie to go and see as well, I think.
Absolutely. Nice one to pick out. I might just highlight that Reading City, hoping to continue on their cup runner away at North Greenford, that of branded carpet fame from last season. Anyone can know what we're talking about, go back and look through our feeds and you'll see that North Greenford have their club crest on the carpet in the clubhouse there, which is absolutely fantastic, as it should be.
We were very, very happy about that. Can I just say something really stupid?
Go on then.
For a change.
Hasn't stopped you so far.
When did Flackwell Heath get back into the Combined Counties Premier Division North?
This season, after the restructure, they were moved sideways. So they've come back from the Spartan South Midlands alongside a couple of others, Oxy Jets.
Oh yes. I hadn't even noticed them either.
Yeah, there's a few there that I'm trying to remember off the top of my head.
Broadfields United.
Broadfields United came
I'm trying to think of all the new people.
Harefield United and you as well.
Harefield United's a long way away. I wish to do that in the Thames Valley Women's League.
That's northwest London, isn't it? So yeah.
God, that's a long way. But yeah, sorry, I not realised Flackwell Heath were back. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
As you were. So yeah.
Sorry, heathens.
There are a few new teams in the division, and ones to look out for as we go forward. All right. Well, we've kind of covered, sparsely covered, shall we say, all the fixtures from this weekend. There will, of course, be a full list of fixtures and everything you can go and see on the website. So get along to www.footballinberkshire.co.uk and you can catch all of our fixtures, all the fixtures for the weekend there. Guys, anything else you want to highlight before we get out of here?
I totally forgot to tell you about my journey to Eversley.
You did.
So Google mapped it, obviously, from my house, driving along. Suddenly driving along, all handy, following the maps, driving to Yateley United FC, which is just down the road. But as it turns out, Google Maps feels like Fox Lane and the bit past the Checkers pub is closed, and apparently has been closed for quite a long time, according to Google
it's like
Maps.
2 years.
Yeah, and so Google Maps tried to send me around, and you can clearly see there is a road on Google Maps, but when you get to the bit of the golf club within the Sean Devereux Park that is home of Yateley United, there is no road. So I absolutely was not the only one that made this mistake and hadn't realised, but it would also explain why the journey was 35 minutes instead of 25 minutes.
Oh dear.
Fuming.
Tom, does that mean you were late?
Yes, it really does. It really does mean I was late. I would have been bang on time had I not had that issue, because I know where Eversley in California is, and I know how to get there. I've been there before.
But do you?
Well, Google Maps lied. So I went home. On the way home, I went completely the way that I would have gone, and stuck two fingers up to Google Maps. Stupid Google Maps. Don't make anybody going to Eversley in California. As I say, there was definitely a player that was lost, and there were a couple of supporters I saw turning around as well. So ignore Google Maps. Stupid Google Maps.
A bit of consumer advice there for anyone going to their game this weekend against Hillingdon Borough. So do not follow Google Maps. Just do it from memory. Is the advice from Tom.
That definitely won't go wrong.
Anyway, anything else? Anything you want to plug, Abby, or promote?
Yes, just one thing. I did not mention FA Cup fixtures beforehand. We have had those released.
Yes,
so
of course.
we have got 8 Berkshire sides in the FA Cup this season. Mortimer will play. Hold on, am I looking at the right thing? Yes, I am. There's a couple of teams who are in first round qualifying because we've just binned off preliminary rounds now forevermore. But Milton United will play Slough Town, and then whoever wins that will play Ascot United. Mortimer will play Watford Ladies Development, and whoever wins that will play Penn Tylers. Caversham United will play Eversley in California, which is a replay of last season's fixture. And I think that is it for all of our Berkshire sides for now, actually, because there's a few more who will come in at a later round. But yes, that is all of the FA Cup fixtures, and that is not until the 4th of October. So we've got a little while to wait. But yes, it's just exciting that we know who will be playing who.
Very good indeed. Okay, anything else, Tom, before we shoot away? Anything you want to draw our listeners' attention to?
Wednesday night is the latest session, latest kickabout with the Proud Royals Reading FC supporters group, which we are getting behind. So if you fancy a kickabout at the Select Car Leasing Dome, get down there.
Great idea for that one. Something
Charity
to do
match
on
pending.
Yes, there will. I can exclusively announce there will be a charity match.
Oh God, who's playing? I caught up with these WhatsApp messages late yesterday. I was like, "What's going on here? What have we been signed up to?"
We are going to play a Proud Royals team. Someone, I think Reading City have suggested we play it at the Rivermore, which would suggest they think it's going to be 11 aside. In my head, I was thinking maybe 5 aside in the Dome, but
I'm
we
not
should
sure if I can
see.
commit to an 11 aside at this point.
Yeah, can we?
We should-
Can we that's a lot of ground to cover.
It is. That's a big
looking-
pitch. It's a big pitch.
I'm looking at the average age in our FIB WhatsApp group, and it's not pretty. So this is only going one way. As one of the younger members of the FIB WhatsApp group, I think it might be. This might be a little ambitious for us. But anyway,
5 aside, I think we'll be fine. Plenty of roll-on, roll-off subs as well.
Define fine, but still, something to look out for, certainly, as the season progresses. Slightly worrying development of the...
Details to be confirmed.
Oh, God. Well...
On that note...
Rob, you're probably one of the fitter of us as well.
I know, that's the problem. I'm going to be expected to do the running. I only got about 5 minutes in me before I need to collapse and take on oxygen from the side. Anyway, yes, well, with that worrying development ringing in our ears, we should probably leave. So why don't we say goodbye to everyone? We should probably tell them where we can find. You did all the social media stuff last week, Tom, and I haven't written it down onto my speech this week. So why don't you tell them where we can find all of our stuff?
You can find us on Twitter at FI Berkshire. You can find us on Facebook. Just search Football in Berkshire. You can find us on LinkedIn. Football in Berkshire, because we're targeting a real youth audience. Business execs and the youth audience through LinkedIn. All the kids are on LinkedIn these days, they tell me. Instagram at FI Berkshire, and you can go to www.footballinberkshire.co.uk.
Lovely job there. Well, thank you very much for listening. As always, we will be back next week with another dose of the Chat podcast, where you can hear about all the results from this weekend and look forward to any goings-on in Berkshire football in the coming weeks. But before then, we should just say goodbye. So say goodbye, Tom.
Bye.
Say goodbye, Abby.
See ya.
And it's bye from me as well. Goodbye.